Hey Wargamers, today we're going to do another Tau Army List review. Now, it's been a while since we've done one of these videos, so to refresh your memory, basically the way these videos work is I take an army list sent to me by one of my patrons over on Patreon, could be you, and I review it, I talk about the things that I think work well and the things that I think could be improved, and then I revise it and try to tweak it in a way that I think makes it more effective, but maintains some of that character that the original list had, the same type of play style, the same types of elements in it, in a way that's not just a cookie cutter list. So that's what we're doing today. And yeah, today's list is pretty interesting. It's actually a multi-sept list, a multi-detachment list. And yeah, well, let's just jump into it. Okay, so here's the original list. It comes in at 1983 points, so we have a little bit of wiggle room right off the bat. It includes 2 detachments, of course, because it has 2 different septs. And so we have to pay for one of those detachments. It uses the emergency dispensation and veteran cadre stratagems. So those are pretty standard choices. You'll see those in pretty much any Tau list in 9th edition, and they are well worth their points in my opinion. Our 2 septs are Farsight enclaves. Certainly a strong choice, and the thing that allows us to actually use veteran cadre. And then a custom sept that has hardened warheads and upgunned. So hardened warheads allows us to increase the AP of smart missiles, missile pods, high yield missile pods. So it makes missiles better. And then upgunned turns burst cannons into -1 AP instead of AP dash. So really looking at increasing the AP of these particular weapons. Our Warlord is an XV8 commander, and there wasn't a Warlord trait specified, but we'll get into that. So our first detachment is a Vanguard detachment. It's going to be our primary detachment in the custom sept. So our Warlord is this XV8 commander. He comes with 2 cyclic ion blasters, a fusion blaster, advanced hardening system, and iridium armor, and 2 marker drones. The 2 marker drones are, a great choice. They're a way to seed more drones into the list, and of course, with the most recent point changes, most of our drones, if not all of our drones, are going to be coming as upgrades instead of tactical drone units. Because they cost half as much when you take them as an upgrade. So that's the way to do it, of course. Bring as many little units of drones as you can. And then, yeah, the loadout here, we have 2 cyclic ion blasters, which are good weapons on a commander. A fusion blaster, also a good weapon on a commander. The advanced hardening system here is a little bit of a hybrid choice. A hybrid choice on a hybrid character, for a hybrid sept, I guess. Right, we would normally see the advanced hardening system paired with 3 cyclic ion blasters instead of the fusion blaster. We don't actually get as much value out of the advanced hardening system because of the fusion blaster. That said, the fusion blaster is still a very strong choice. So, this is fine. I think perhaps a larger concern here is that this commander actually does not benefit at all from the sept tenet. He doesn't have missiles and he doesn't have burst cannon. So I would potentially pivot this more into the sept tenet if we're going to be taking him in this custom sept. If we're going to be taking a custom sept at all, we want to make sure that we're getting the most value out of that. So especially because he's an XV8 commander, not something like a Cold Star or an Enforcer, I would look at loading him up with missile pods instead, especially given some of the other choices in this detachment. Keep in mind things like Master of War are sept locked, so it's only going to apply to models of the same sept, and that restricts some of the utility here. Is going to restrict some of the movements that you're going to use with this guy, because he's going to want to kind of hang out with his custom sept buddies and not mingle with those Farsight ruffians in the other detachment as much. So that's, we'll see how that pans out in the revision. We have a Riptide with the amplified ion accelerator in a smart missile system. Now this immediately struck me as I was like, where are the support systems? But if we think about it, the amplified ion accelerator doesn't necessarily need a support system. We could look at something like counterfire defense system or early warning override, but he doesn't necessarily need that, right? The amplified ion accelerator itself is just a beefy weapon and is going to do fairly well. And then the smart missile system gets a -1 from the Sept tenet from hardened warheads. So it doesn't need advanced targeting system that way either. But that said, we still could increase, we could amplify the utility of the Riptide by taking some of these support systems with some of these extra points that we have. Then we have 2 3-man units of stealth suits. They come with a fusion blaster and then marker light and target lock on the Chazvray. This is something that I love the idea thematically of stealth suits with a fusion blaster, and they're sneaky boys, and they go in there and they just and they take out a high target unit. In practicality, that really doesn't happen, right? It's a single fusion blaster on yes, a high utility unit, and yes, a moderately durable unit, but not, this isn't on a Riptide or anything that's going to really last a long time. So we don't get that much value really out of a lone fusion blaster in stealth suits. And the marker light and target lock, yes, it allows you some utility here where we could potentially fire a marker light from a position that we otherwise wouldn't be able to shoot one. But that can also be achieved with things like marker drones on these units. So I tend to shy away from either of these choices on a stealth suit team. I like running them either bare bones or with advanced targeting systems. But tend to think that this is perhaps a little bit over investment into these stealth suits. All right, and then we have a Ghost Keel with a Fusion Collider and 2 Flamers. Now, this doesn't actually benefit at all from the Sept tenet, and that might be weird. But really, the reason why it's in this detachment is to use Wall of Mirrors. So we have the Ghost Keel, we have a Stealth Suit buddies. They can jump around and do tricky things in a way that they wouldn't be able to do if the Ghost Keel was in a different detachment, because Wall of Mirrors is Sept locked. So he has to be in here. I'm inferring that this is kind of a key strategy that the player likes to use, and so I'm going to, not move him out of this detachment, even though, a Ghost Keel all else equal would actually be better in a different detachment where it would actually benefit from the tenet. He's here not for himself, he's here for his friends. Okay, so he's an emotional support Ghost Keel. The fusion collider, a fine choice, a good choice. And the 2 Flamers there, especially because their range got increased, is a lot more practical. I might want to switch this though to burst cannons. They're more expensive, but they are going to benefit from the Sept tenet, and so we'll get a little bit more mileage out of it that way. The pluses and minuses. The Flamers are fine. They're going to auto hit on Overwatch, which is nice. But you might get a little bit more utility out of the burst cannons because of their extended range. Then we have a Piranha with the Seeker Missile. This is fine. It allows for some maneuvering shenanigans, allows to be a little bit of a bodyguard for a commander because it is a vehicle. But all else said, aside from being a drone caddy, it doesn't have a lot of utility, right? It's a single Piranha. When I run Piranhas, I like to have at least 2 or 3, if not more. And so I would potentially, I would cannibalize this Piranha and use it to fuel some of my other list initiatives. Then to wrap up this detachment, we have 2 broadsides, not as a single unit, but as 2 independent units, each of them with a high-yield missile pod and smart missile system, of course, because of the hardened warhead choices. One of them has advanced targeting system, and the other has a drone controller, and they have 2 marker drones each. Now, the advanced targeting system, kind of a go-to choice. The drone controller is, the variant choice, but one that makes a lot of sense if you're going to have a bunch of marker drones hanging around some back line. This one broadside is going to be able to prop up a lot of those different marker drones and improve their utility, which will be nice. In general, having some more durable model with a drone controller, whether that's a broadside or a Riptide or a Ghost Keel, all of those are choices that, if you can make it without sacrificing the overall utility of that unit, is a good choice. Moving on to the second detachment. This is a patrol detachment with Farsight Enclave Sept. It has another XVA commander with the Supernova launcher. That's the Relic Airburst Fragmentation Projector. I love this choice. This is a fun choice. It has a lot of utility. It's an effective weapon. I don't know if it's the most competitive, but I just love this. I love using this on a commander, and I'm guessing this player does too. So having a Supernova launcher on there, yeah, it's a relic. It takes up some utility that we could potentially use on some of these other units here, but it's just so darn fun, and it works well in a lot of different scenarios. So cool choice, good choice. We have 2 cyclic ion blasters and a shield generator. That's a little strange, the shield generator here instead of something like advanced targeting system, but keep in mind this is a commander that needs to stay alive. So the shield generator adds that durability. We sacrifice a little bit of punchiness by not taking an advanced targeting system, but we have a commander that potentially is going to stay around longer and therefore really be able to deliver some utility for a longer period of time. He has 2 gun drones in order to Sarah protocol him. One of the downsides, of course, though, about how Lookout Sir works, how characters work in 9th edition, is that these 2-man gun drone units, these 2 drone units in general, aren't able to actually block for characters. So that's something to keep an eye out, is that these commanders have to, they can't just rely on these drones to protect them. They have to stay with their buddies, which is why, in part 2, why the shield generator is a good choice, is because he's not always going to have his buddies around. And then we have a XV86 Cold Star, with 4 fusion blasters. Not a lot to say there. Yeah, he's going to be able to zip around and take care of some business. But again, got to be careful. Make sure that he doesn't overextend, put himself in a situation where he's going to get shot off the board. Because one of the things about Cold Stars is it's very tempting to just have them zip across the board and take care of something for you. And if they are either unsuccessful in doing that, or the enemy is positioned in a way that they can attack that Cold Star in the following turn, he's not going to be long for this world. He's going to disappear pretty quickly. And so even though Cold Stars offer a lot of utility, they're only able to actually be an optimal choice if they can stick around for multiple turns, if they can stick around for the majority of the game. And so you want to be able to ensure that happens. And this is more of just like a strategy comment than something about the list, but just, in general, it's extremely tempting to use Cold Stars in kind of a YOLO fashion, when we want to probably be a little bit more conservative in how we deploy a Cold Star. Then we have a unit of 5 breachers with a Guardian drone and a gun drone. Guardian drone being a great choice here, and the gun drone being just another drone body. We have a unit of 7 breachers that also have a Guardian drone and a gun drone, and then a unit of 5 breachers. So just without drones. So the 2 5-man units of breachers work because you can put those 2 units together in a Devilfish. The 7-man unit of breachers, I'm guessing, is this kind of intermediate size just because of points availability or something like that, or maybe there's a restricted number of models. But either way, I would kind of either bump this up or bump it down. Just kind of, there's nothing wrong with 7, but maybe there's a way that we can wiggle that to be something a little bit more intuitive to use. That detachment also contains a unit of 3 crisis suits. The Chazvray has 2 cyclics and an advanced targeting system. So does one of the Chazui. And then the 3rd Chazui has 3 fusion blasters and iridium armor. And in general, I try to spread my weapons out. So, maybe maybe have everyone have 2 of one and 1 of one weapon. But I think in this case it makes sense to not do that because again, if you're bringing cyclics and you want an advanced targeting on top of that, the fusion blaster is not going to benefit. So compartmentalizing this list or this unit in a way that you have cyclics with advanced targeting on some suits and then fusion blasters on another works, and it also allows you to selectively lose weapons in a way that benefits you based on the list you're facing. So if you're in a list that you need fusion blasters more than cyclics, you can lose the chassis with the cyclics first. If you need the fusion blasters less than you need the cyclics, you can use the fusion blaster you lose the fusion blaster first. But of course, he is the one with the iridium armor, so you're probably going to lose him first either way. One thing here is I would really like to see some drones on this unit. We have, I'll just say there's a devilfish too, so those breachers can go in there. There's not a lot of drones in this unit or in this list, and I'd like to maybe see some more. In order to offer some protection to some pretty expensive units that we're investing a lot in, whether that's the crisis suits or the broadsides or the Riptide. I think it would make, or the commanders. It'd be nice to have some more drones in order to protect them a little bit more. Another thing with this crisis unit is that if we want to spend more command points or if we want to not take one of our other relic choices. So the amplified ion accelerator, I think, is almost an auto include choice if you're going to be bringing a Riptide with an ion accelerator. But the supernova launcher is a little bit more of a flavor choice than necessarily a hard math hammer choice. And so if we were to give that up, or if we wanted to spend more CP to bring an additional relic, I would look at potentially putting stabilizer jets on this unit in order to make them a little bit more effective, or do something to use one of our prototype systems here in order to kind of help these gentlemen and gentle ladies of this crisis suit unit out a little bit. All right, and here is the revised list. It comes in at 1996 points. Same detachment, same stratagems, same Septs, everything like that's the same. The Warlord is the same. I specified that Warlord had through Unity Devastation, which I think fits with his role inside of this more shooty, list or detachment. Okay, so looking at that first detachment again, this is a Vanguard detachment with the XVA commander. I did switch him over to missile pods with advanced targeting system and iridium armor. So we have missile pods, then we have advanced targeting system, plus the -1 from the custom Sept tenet is going to make these some super punchy missile pods, which is cool. He's going to be able to hang out with his broadside friends and shoot from the back line, and use his Warlord trait to point out things that need to get a little bit more attention. He has 2 marker drones again. Then we have the Riptide with the amplified ion accelerator, smart missile system, and then I did give him a counterfire defense system as a way to just help him out and resist charges, because the chances are that he will be charged, and this gives him a little bit better chance of doing something about it. Then we have the 2 3-man stealth suit teams. I lost the upgrades to those units, so they're just bare bones stealth suits. And then the Ghost Keel is largely the same, except for he has 2 burst cannons now instead of a flamer. So he's taking advantage of the upgunned Sept tenet. And then I gave him a shield generator too, because he will need, he needs something to basically help him stick around a little bit longer. The -1 to hit is useful, but if he gets touched with something that has some oomph behind it, the shield generator is really going to be valuable to him. Then we have 3 broadsides with high yield missile pod, smart missile system, advanced targeting system, and 4 marker drones attached to them. this is a way to kind of keep them all together and allow them to more succinctly benefit from things like command and control node or other types of abilities that target individual units. So this way we kind of consolidate the broadsides in a way that we can use this commander a little bit more effectively to boost their output. So yeah. Okay, that second detachment, again, still Farsight Enclaves. We have a commander with the Supernova, 2 cyclic ion blasters, and a shield generator. That's the same, and he has 2 gun drones. And then I have a Cold Star with 4 fusion blasters. So yeah, those are the same as they were before. But then for the troops choices, I've invested a little bit more in breachers, and essentially made a duplicate of that original team where we had the 2 breacher teams that could go into Devilfish. I just doubled that. So now we could fill 2 Devilfishes. Ooh, spoiler warning. We could fill 2 Devilfishes with breachers and have them, kind of take out different parts of the board or work on different parts of the board. And then we have that 3-man crisis suit team with the veterans stratagem. This is the same, except for I've given them a big unit of gun drones. You could drop this down to 5, put another drone somewhere else so that these gun drones aren't affected by blast weapons as much. But either way, you kind of you could move that around as you want. And again, this is a place where I think either taking something like crosslink stabilizer jets or even reactive countermeasures, if we change the loadout a little bit, would be a good choice, because we're investing in the veteran stratagem, and we're putting that on this unit. We want them to do really, really well, and so leaning into that a little bit with one of these prototype systems could be a good way to amplify their output just a little bit more. And we have a Devilfish with a Seeker missile, just because we had some points. And another Devilfish. So we actually retain one of the things about having these multiple Devilfish here is they can serve much of the same role as those Piranha did in the original list. They can still block for characters, although they're more durable than a Piranha. They can still carry Seeker missiles, but again, they're more durable than a Piranha, and they have breachers inside. And they have drones, just like Piranhas do. So they're like bigger Piranhas in a lot of ways. They're Devilfish, not anyway. There's a fish joke in there somewhere, probably. And Tau players can never have enough fish jokes, I guess. But yeah, we can get a lot of the same utility out of the Devilfish, plus be able to move troops around and do so with a little bit more durable unit. So yeah, overall, I think this list does a lot of the same things, but maybe has a little bit more durability, a little bit more flexibility in some ways, and can handle perhaps a wider range of targets. I think one of the big changes I made, of course, was investing more in those breachers, taking these Devilfish, and then upping the drone count. And so I think this is going to give a little bit better board control too. And of course, 9th edition is about board control and about sitting on objectives. So hopefully this revision does that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree with my changes? Do you disagree? What things would you change? Let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching. And of course, happy wargaming. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. This channel is made possible by my supporters over on Patreon. If you enjoyed this video, consider joining our community over there. Special thanks to Durza, Robbie Goodwin, Michael Byrne, Jim Bob, Tao Oswell, Everett Keller, Stephen Cowan, Farsight 1981, Guvesa Webb, Benny B. Jones, Jose Gomez, Ruger, Drew Pratley, Mark Schwering, Zealous Brimstone, Scott Heater, Jared Egler, and Chris Kessler.